Do you like the feeling of being watched everywhere you go? Do you like feeling like you're never alone? Do you like deep, black, crushing depths of the ocean where you can't see more than maybe 10 feet in front of you? Then Subnautica is definitely the game for you. If you're like me, on the other hand, and you really don't like the deep part of the ocean, maybe staying on dry land is better for you. Let's talk about Subnautica today. This is a game that I have beaten, I think, 2 other times. It is my maximum, and never once have I beaten it with hunger and thirst on. Usually I just turn it into survival crafting mode only, sans a little bit of the survival, and just mosey my way through it. And normally that's it. Top to bottom and end. That's it. I decided recently, since my son decided to want to get back into playing it, that I would go through and I would do a full playthrough. Now, with this playthrough, I wanted to do hunger, thirst, crafting, survivability, and before I did this run, I set up one previous run where I got in the game, made a creative world, crafted myself 15 beacons, and went around to all the areas, put beacons down, stood on my life pod, and just kind of periscoped my way around to see where all my beacons were. Since, I knew where the islands were, I knew about where some of the locations were, but I wanted to put it more into my head. That way, when it came to it, I'd be able to avoid certain areas, such as the backside of the Aurora, the dunes, and the mountains, because those areas are borderline useless unless you're doing like a cuttlefish egg collect-a-thon. I just wanted to get through the game as efficiently and quickly as possible. I did make a bit of an oofy goop when it comes to where I put my base in the Lost River, but we'll get back to that in a little bit. As far as the game itself is concerned, I love that it is truly a survival crafting game. There's no in-game factionism, there's no in-game economy, there's no third-party economy. You can't purchase your way to an easier Subnautica. There's no sentient life that you have to trade items with to get items. Unless we're counting the stalkers. In that case, yeah, you gotta trade metal for teeth, but that's really about the it of it if you even want to go that far. You could just build bases to look for teeth. It is to its core elements you and what you can find, and nothing more. I personally prefer my survival crafting games to be like that, where I don't have the option to buy something that I can't normally get where I'm at. I'll use Minecraft as my comparison piece, I guess. No matter where you are in the world, a wandering trader will always find you. And 90% of the time, they'll bring you absolute crap. Just the worst stuff you can imagine. But they're going to sell it to you at a premium. You want this one block of blue ice as you're living in the desert? That's going to be at least 33 emeralds. Poppies? You don't got those around here? Make it 7. It's just one of those things where it doesn't need an in-game economy. If I were to go out into the desert in Minecraft and not see a village and not get a wandering trader, that was my choice. Subnautica, they don't even have that. If you go somewhere, you get to deal with the consequences of scavenging. And that's it. I do very much enjoy the thrill of knowing about where everything is, but still finding myself in situations where I definitely forgot something was somewhere. Never in my life have I been more scared than going down to CTO Officer U's life pod and parking the Cyclops there and looking up for just a little bit and just seeing this thing Going through the ocean above my Cyclops. That was a bold reminder that I was not in the right neighborhood. And on the subject of vehicles, I have to say, as a ranking system goes, Prawn Suit, tier 1. Absolute tier 1. The Seamoth, tier 2. Very good, very handy. The Sea Glide, tier 3. Mobility, fits in caves, works anywhere at any depth. Just toss a battery in it, it's good to go. F tier, absolute worst, would not build it if I even had to. The Cyclops. Normally, when it comes down to my time to move to the Lost River into the Tree Cove, where I always build my base down there, I will use a Seamoth with a storage module and the space within my own butt. And I will carry everything from top base to a middle base, and then from a middle base to my Lost River base. This time around, I went ahead and actually built the Cyclops because I know this would have taken me 10 hours longer as a project, and since I actually had food and water on, time was sort of the essence. I won't say it was pertinent, but it was going to take too long for me to move everything. So I decided to build that gigantic hunk of lump, and I named it as appropriately as I could because it's shit. I don't know why people swear by it, and if someone, please, in the comment section, feel free to berate me, but I want to hear your opinion. Why do people love the Cyclops? It turns worse than a gravy boat. It may have storage space on it already, and you could put more storage space on it, but if you already know where most everything is in the game, you won't need storage. I used it as a temporary A to B storage. Twice. That's it. I wasn't taking it with me everywhere. I wasn't trying to make it my home on the sea. I don't get it why some players play like that. It seems stupid. You ram into one too many things, or you find yourself in a precarious situation in which you're going to die. You've not only lost your transport that deep, you've just lost everything you've worked for. I'd rather take it out on the Prawn Suit. If I lose whatever the Prawn Suit's got, that's 16 inventory slots. He's also far more mobile, much quicker. Outside of that, I can't really say there's anything special about the ending of the game to me. We've all seen it 100,000 times at this point. I mean, Subnautica came out back in 2015, 16. It's been a few years now. But it will always hold a place in my heart that for some people, once they reach the part where they have to actually start harvesting the plants, that's just too much for some people. And most people will council command their way out of that one. Or just call it a day and say, you know what, I live on this planet now. This planet and I are friends. It's a weird dichotomy to see it go both ways. As much as I love the game, I don't want to stay in the game and, efficientize a base, make a base that stretches from A to B. I don't want to go collect every resource in the ocean or go collect every cuttlefish egg. There's no motive that can keep me in that ocean long enough. I do not like water I cannot see through. And where I'm from, that's pretty uncommon to be able to see through water just because of the tide. That's okay. These waters are my home waters. I know what's out there. I know what can hurt me in that water. It's not much. And that's that. When it comes to oceans, I am much more careful because I know the ocean is 1,000 times more dangerous than my own water. And as someone who enjoys surfing, I would not, under any case or cause, enjoy an ocean that is murky. I have actually avoided surfing on days when it is too sandy or too silty in the water. So, when it comes to areas in Subnautica that blur the vision, such as the Aurora Crash Zone where there's too much silt, soot, and sand in the water particles, I don't enjoy that. When it comes down to places like uh, the area in the Sparse Reef to the Grand Reef where it's kind of just dark, like the Blood Kelp Trench, do not like that whatsoever. In Grand Reef, there's those giant bioluminescent balls of light. I love those things because I can see from here to there pretty clearly. It's a great time. I do not mind the Lost River. I do not even mind the active lava zone because I think those are just rendering issues on my computer's part. As far as the game itself is concerned, I can't say it's like an A++ in my book because I do not want to play it for at least another year and a half until my brain's like, hey, we should play a survival crafting game that's quick. If you haven't played this game, grab it. It's worth your money. It's a beautiful experience. It runs on most computers relatively well. And I mean, as far as graphical demands go, it's not too high off on the list. It's not like they're requiring 100 gigs of, shader space. It's a simple game, and it's fun. If you like hoarding stuff and almost pooping your pants, this is the game for you. I will see you guys on the next one, which will be me in the exact same uniform as I'm doing one of my famous double recordings. So we will see you then.